Sunny 97.3, we play your oldies. It's Steve Master, Scott Roman, Radio Caffeine on a Thursday morning, and we are honored to be joined by a four-time, what can you say, a four-time Stanley Cup winner and a long, illustrious career as far as 11 years with the Red Wings, 11 seasons, I should say. Number 25, Darren McCarty joins us this morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. We had some surprising news and happy news that you're going to be coming to Big Rapids and checking out the Ferris State Bulldogs and actually having a book signing. So, folks, excited to have you come up this way, Darren.
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow, Friday night, so looking forward to it, obviously. I love Big Rapids area. Usually I only get up and spend some time there in the summertime, the big softball tournament, but it's the Ferris State Bulldogs, and I got a Bulldog too, so it all seems to work out. So I'm pretty excited to get up in that area. And
our Bulldog's named Brutus. What's your Bulldog's name?
Sorry,
he didn't catch that because we were all talking on one another.
Yeah, what's your Bulldog's name, Darren?
Hank.
All right.
Love it.
I named it Hank Zeta McCarty, which means Hank Zetterberg McCarty. So I named him after Hank Zetterberg.
There's no Draper in there. I'm surprised. You and Chris are buddies.
No, really. Well, I got two little rat Yorkies also too, but they're not named Draper, but they act like him anyways. I should have named the Yorkies Drapes and Malts because they yip around and act like that anyways.
That question for you, Darren. The book, My Last Fight: The True Story of a Hockey Rock Star. What prompted you to write it? I guess is the question here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's been something that people have asked me or wanted me to do for a while, but really the truth is that after my good buddy Bob Pro passed away and got his book and read it and really was just blown away by how honest his book was and how, he didn't hold anything back. And, it really sort of clicked something to me that if I was going to do this, that's the way it had to be. I had to take his lead and do it that way. And, time had passed and, after I retired and stuff, and it wasn't really till about a year and a half ago that Kevin Allen, who's the hockey writer for the USA Today, just inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. He's been covering the Wings for a long time, and we have a relationship, friendship, and he got a hold of me and he just finished Jeremy Roenick's book, and he said, "Hey, I heard you're thinking about doing a book, and when you're ready, I'd like to do it with you." And that was really the kicker that got me thinking. This is a guy that I can trust, and this is a guy that knows me very well, and so that sort of started the process. And then my wife and I, we had to take a time out, and we moved down to Clearwater Beach, Florida, and spent the last year just getting healthy, clearing my head, and putting what in my head onto paper. And this is what has come out of it. Obviously, with the honesty and stuff, I cover every gamut. It's a 25% hockey and it's 75% life, and I just wanted to, this is my truth. So I just want to get my truth out there and sort of clarify, from my perspective, what, people have, maybe perceived or heard or something like that. I wanted to get the truth out there. So this is my truth, and I couldn't be prouder of it in the way that, it's come out in the way that it's presented and the way Kevin helped me with it. I couldn't be happier.
We're talking with Darren McCarty, former Detroit Red Wing, who will be up with the Ava Glaben Sports Complex signing his book that was just released in December tomorrow night with the Bulldog hockey game against Michigan Tech. Now, Darren, you mentioned Kevin Allen. Folks might know him from Star Spangled Hockey, What It Means to Be a Red Wing. When he contacts you, and you said you had the utmost respect and trust with him, what's that process like? Now, did you just sit down and talk with him, and he recorded it and then went back and showed you maybe how you co-wrote it together, and what was that process like, and about how long did it take?
Well, I think that whole process was probably about 8 months, and
wow.
when I was in town, we'd get together, and for 2-3 hours and sit down face to face and work on stuff. But usually it was about a couple hours, 4 times a week. Put on my headphones and talk to him. I'd be sitting on the beach doing that, and so we just talk about different things, and then he'd put it down in paper, send it to me, and then I'd edit it. Then and then I'd show my wife, and she'd go, "Oh, yeah, that's good, but that's only 85%. Cough up more there, buddy." So,
smart move to clear it with her.
Yeah. And then we'd send it back to him, and then he'd sort of organize it. But at the end, it was prepared the way that I wanted it, and it was actually a very easy process. So it's pretty much just. Just talking and writing and figuring it out and getting, from your head onto the paper, which is, very therapeutic.
I was going to say, after 758 regular season games, you've been out for 5 seasons now, and in the process of doing it, Darren, did this all come back to you as far as it was like yesterday?
A lot of it does. Mm-hmm. A lot of it does. A lot of it's like, oh man, I forgot about that, or different things. But when you get going, when doing this, I think the key point for me was to separate myself from this area and get somewhere where it was. It's always nicer to do something in warm weather and sunshine, and it sort of opens you up creatively. I think too, just to remember a little bit more. I mean, for me, with all my arthritis, it just helped me feel more comfortable,
right?
Day to day, and want to get out of bed and get moving and attack a project like this.
Right.
So, your atmosphere and what you surround yourself with. You see some people when they write. There's always the adage. There's a cabin in the woods, or somewhere on a beach. But it definitely. Through that process to open up, that was a big help for me.
Now, Darren, if they we're talking with Darren McCarty, former Detroit Red Wing, again here on Sunny 97.3 FM. Darren, if they make a book, like a movie out of your book, now who would you want to play you, and who would you absolutely refuse to let play you? Have you thought about that?
Couldn't play me, that's for sure.
What was that, Darren?
So we're going to get him out of that, anyways. He can play Draper maybe because he's about as tall as he is. So.
Who is that? Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise. That'd be Draper.
Would you want like George Clooney to play you then?
I'd say, I don't know, maybe a Russell Crowe or a Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, there you go.
I could see Russell Crowe playing you.
Yes,
no
sir.
doubt about it.
I could too.
Yeah, there we go.
Now, he does some musical stuff, and you have.
You do Maximus Aurelius, why can't you do D-Max, right?
Yeah, there you go. Now, are you still doing your music thing?
You know what? I've been on. They call it a hiatus.
There we go
for a bit, but I've been talking with a couple of my guys, and we're thinking about firing something up maybe in the summertime. So right now I'm focused on this book thing, and
sure.
when we're see how that goes, because I haven't even gone to Canada and stuff like that.
Right.
But definitely the music thing now is back into my next step, I guess you could say.
Good
That'll
stuff.
be my next project.
Good stuff. Question, Darren, out of the 4 Stanley Cups, 97, 98, 2002, and the last one in 2008, which one would be the most special as far as you're concerned?
Well, you know what? This is like a question that it's like asking who's your favorite kid.
Ah, okay.
But I do have one.
Oh, do you? Okay, all right.
Right, exactly. No, I don't have a favorite kid. I have a favorite cup.
Okay, all right.
Which means more. But I mean, obviously, if you see how honest I am now. If you've read the book, you can see what it is. But because I grew up in the area, across the border, the house I grew up in was 45 minutes, give or take 10 minutes for the border.
Right.
To Joe Louis Arena. That went in 97, the first cup in 42 years, because I grew up a Red Wing fan, and I grew up in the Dead Wing era, and I knew what it meant. I knew the history, and I knew what it meant. So just to crack that bubble was great. But they're all special in different ways. The second one, because because of doing it back-to-back and because of losing Vladdy, and then in 2002 because that was probably the greatest Hall of Fame team ever put together that was supposed to win, and then we did, and then in 2008 because of my comeback. So they all have a storyline to them, but the first one was just because it was, it brought us to a whole new world.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it.
And we're talking with Darren McCarty, a member of the Grind Line with the Detroit Red Wings. And Darren, what are some things maybe people can expect tomorrow night, Friday night, when you're here signing your book? Are you just going to be signing your book and that's what they can stick to? What can the fans expect?
Well, come by and, obviously want to get a book, but if you want to get an autograph too, I'll be, I'll sign an autograph. Obviously, if there's a lot of people, keep it to a minimum, but look forward to seeing people. It's great to be able to get out to Big Rapids and get out to that side of the state. I think that one of the things that I try to explain to people is that, the Detroit Red Wings aren't just down in southern Michigan. I mean, we're all through the state, and I always make it a point to try to travel out at least once a year and make my way around the state in some way, up to Big Rapids, up to Traverse, because you guys get all left out and don't have the access to the Wings. So I always say that they should spend more time outside, but what do I know? So I just look forward to coming to see some people that maybe don't get a chance to get down to this area, and so we're going to come up to you.
That's great.
One of the things that I wanted to point out was there are several photographs of you over the years, Darren, that a lot of people held close in their hearts. And my favorite is the one, I know what you're probably thinking of, you pummeling Claude Lemieux. No, that's not my favorite. My favorite photograph of you that was taken as you left with the Stanley Cup on the back of your motorcycle. I thought that was quite a statement photograph as far as you were concerned.
That was, I do have that one here too. I have both of them in my house. So they both are near and dear to my heart.
I bet you've signed a few of those over the years for people, haven't you?
You know what? Somebody in that picture industry said that's the biggest selling sports piece in Detroit sports history.
Mm-hmm.
I've signed 1 million of them at least.
Right. A lot of people don't remember the fact that you scored in overtime the game-winning goal in that contest where that whole thing took place on Bloody Wednesday.
Well, yeah, and you know what? To make it quick, the whole deal with that thing is not about that game. Is I make it a point. I go through the story in my book. Is that the whole biggest part of that game wasn't beating the crap out of Lemieux. It was we had to win because the year before we set the league record with 62 wins and lost to Colorado in the conference finals. Hadn't beaten them all year, and this was the last time we played them. So when they sort of had our number. So the fact that I got 4 minutes of rough and kicked the snot out of him and scored the overtime winner, it
doesn't get better than that.
That was the best game I ever played.
Here we go. Here's the stats for that game that Darren's talking about here. It featured 11 goals, 39 penalties by the time it was over, including 18 fighting majors. The Avalanche led 5-3 early in the third period. Martin Lapointe and Shanahan scored 36 seconds apart to tie the score. And the man that we're talking to right now, about 39 seconds into overtime, scored the winning goal in that contest. So just a fabulous performance all the way around as far as the Wings are concerned as a team.
And we are with Grind Line member Darren McCarty. Thank you so much for taking your time with us here this morning, Darren. I know you're going to be coming up here Friday. You got the big tour planned for the book, like you said, going to Canada and whatnot?
Yeah, I've been hitting down here in the southern part of the state, and then in the next few weeks going to head over the border and make my rounds. So be doing this for the next month or so.
All right, thank you so much, Darren McCarty, joining us here on Radio Caffeine, Sunny 97.3. Thank you so much for your time, Darren, and we will see you tomorrow night.
Sounds good, fellas. Thanks a lot.
All right, Darren McCarty here on Sunny 97.3.